that was a statement on Saturday night. Like, that was quite something, man. I was watching that game. Landeskog got robbed, too. It should have been 10-1.
It should have. It actually should have been even worse, but it just.
They were all over Edmonton.
I said to first of all, you can't allow those Makar goals. Those are wrist shots from, like clear-sighted shots.
There was some 80s type goaltending
there
being
was
played.
In the one thing, like Edmonton was out to lunch every player. Awful, awful, awful. And Colorado deserved all of the accolades that they came to play because they thought that was a heavyweight match, and Edmonton stood around and watched them just blow by them. Poor decision after poor decision after. But Colorado deserves a lot of credit. They were unbelievable. Edmonton stunk. And there was a question, I was going to bring it up to you. Kris Knoblauch had a long pause in his meeting.
We have it. We got to play it.
See that one?
Let's play it because this is a wild clip. All right, this is on the goaltending in general, but I think Stuart Skinner is probably at the forefront. Yes. Here is Kris Knoblauch postgame Saturday night.
The first 2 goals of the game are 2 wrist shots, no traffic, both get through your goalie, one off the post, a good shot, one through your goalie, and you said your team sags after that. Is this team losing some belief here when it comes to the goaltending situation?
I don't believe so. I think there's been games where our goaltending has been good. The chances and the amount of chances that we've given up has not helped. So I see a lot of bigger issues than our goaltending.
You know what that looked like, guys, is when a guy comes home from the bar and the wife asks him, "Are you drunk?" And he goes,
I don't believe so.
You know what I mean? He's had like 12, and she goes, "Are you drunk?"
I don't believe so.
And he like the pause too. He's like, "Ooh."
Yeah. That was the first time. You're right. Like, it is the question from the wife going, like, did you leave that out last night? You whatever you've done wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
That
he
pause.
Said he was only going out for a couple, and he comes home and he's had 12 and 4 shots of Zambuca. And she says, "You're a pile driver right now, aren't you?" And he goes,
I don't believe so.
Yeah. In actuality, he is creamed.
He's
hammered.
But the thing is, he's semi-blackout, but he's got it together enough where he can answer.
For that line.
He has a delay, yeah.
For that
and
line.
He just,
I don't believe so.
That is the greatest analogy ever.
Yes.
But it's true. Like, that was the first time.
He knows he's creamed.
Yep.
Well, the first time you go.
And he knows they can't stand the goaltending. Like, let's be clear here.
They haven't been good enough.
No, I know.
The reason he's creamed is because he drank because of the goaltending.
Yes. And, like, the goaltending, it's such a weird scenario out there because those 2 guys have been there for 2 cup runs.
No
kidding. It's the same 2 guys that are in the Stanley Cup final every single year. Yet their stats are generally pretty awful. Like, it's
near the bottom.
It's crazy.
They're near the bottom, and that's the thing that I think it's funny. We had the Leaf chat last, before 4:30, and it applies here in Edmonton. The only difference is there are some players coming back, but I still want to see a finished product because I just don't think I think Edmonton at some point will make a move. Like, I do believe in that. Whether that's I don't know what that looks like. But it sounds like as we're starting to reach the American Thanksgiving, was it reported by the insiders that, Doug Armstrong said open for business here. Like, some of these teams are going to be open for business here very, very soon. And it's the same thing with the Leafs. The Leafs don't have a lot to
That's
give
what scares me.
For these teams.
Like, making desperate moves, though, Noodles? Like
but
that.
Is it desperate? I don't think it's desperate. It's more like you identify what you need. That's really what it is.
Brian just said about the Toronto Maple Leafs, what's a right winger going to do for them? What's Zach Hyman going to do about those wrist shots going in?
Well, no, you're right.
What's Janmark going to do about those wrist shots going in?
100%. But what Brian's saying is desperate, but at the end of the day, it's something you identify. You've given a long enough run. Like it's not like you haven't gone, okay,
yes.
like we're making a knee-jerk reaction here after 6 weeks. This has been, a while here, and I think at some point something has to give. That's the way I look at it.
I guess what I'm saying is you have to have belief that it's going to work and that this is just a rut that they need a shock to the system. Where with Edmonton, I think it's reasonable to suggest that as bad as they've played, they have, again, this is the third or fourth year in a row. They've just had a terrible start. They haven't played well. They've picked up a lot of wins at home, but like that loss on Saturday is probably the worst loss any team has faced all year. Like that's a Saturday night. McKinnon rolls in, Avalanche, they get pumped. But they've been to back-to-back Cup finals. You have faith in their big boys showing up when they have to show up.